Not every wild horse is a Brumby, and some breeds you've never even heard of are quietly disappearing every single day. Some have fewer than a few hundred left. Some once carried Aussie soldiers through world wars. Some laid the foundation for Australia's entire farming history. And even more surprising, they're rarer than wild koalas or wedge-tailed eagles. Why does the world know about mustangs, but not these Australian breeds? Because they've lived in silence, away from the spotlight, yet carry chapters of history we can't afford to forget. Let's uncover them. Number 6. Australian stockhorse. They call it the unstoppable warrior, a living machine that doesn't quit, born from the harshest lands in Australia. Known as the toughest horse in all of Oceania, the Australian stockhorse is the perfect blend of speed, strength, and remarkable intelligence. Bred since the 18th century, it carries the bloodlines of Arabians, thoroughbreds, and European war horses, creating a legend that could ride all day without tiring. Standing about 60 to 64 inches tall, compact and muscular, the stockhorse served in both world wars and remains a key partner for Australian farmers and outback riders. It ranks number 6 not because it's the rarest, but because no other breed so perfectly represents grit, work ethic, and loyalty. Purebred stock horses from the original lines are now rarer than wild koalas along Australia's east coast, yet few people truly know their cultural value. But if the stock horse symbolizes endurance, the next breed is the embodiment of untamed freedom, wild, defiant, and completely untouched by human hands. Number 5. Australian Brumby. They call it the ghost riding the wind because the Australian Brumby has no owner, no saddle, no stable. Only absolute freedom in the wild heart of Australia. Brumbies are the descendants of horses released or escaped in the 19th century, and they've multiplied across forests, plains, and even the dry, unforgiving outback. They're not purebred, but they carry a deep genetic mix, from war horses and draft horses to imported European bloodlines. Standing around 14.2 to 15.2 hands, 57 to 61 inches, Brumbies are strong, agile, and completely untamable. They rank number 5 because they are a living symbol of wild freedom, uncaged and unstoppable. But they're also controversial, as their growing numbers have impacted native ecosystems. Some have been domesticated, but many still roam without boundaries or human control. It's estimated there are around 400,000 Brumbies today, but the pure strains from the alpine regions or Northern Territory are far rarer, harder to find than even the elusive white dingo, and are seen by many as national wild treasures. And if the Brumby is the voice of untamed freedom, the next horse carries ancient island blood. Small, resilient, and once traded between Asian empires and Australia's rugged frontier. Number 4. Timor pony. Don't let its small size fool you. This little horse once carried the weight of some of Australia's toughest terrain on its back. The Timor pony is an ancient breed originally from the island of Timor, once a crossroads of Southeast Asian and Australasian civilizations. In the 19th century, these ponies were brought to Australia's Northern Territory, where they became essential for settling land, herding livestock, and hauling supplies across the outback. Though they stand just 11.2 to 13 hands tall, 46 to 52 inches, Timor ponies are known for their solid build, high endurance, and incredible ability to survive. They pulled carts through forests, crossed rivers, and lived independently for days with little to no care. They rank number 4 for their foundational role in Australia's horse history. But purebred Timor ponies are now extremely rare, even rarer than wild cassowaries in the northern bush. And if the Timor pony is the humble cornerstone of Australia's early frontier, the next horse is pure pride. A warrior that once carried Aussie soldiers into battlefields across the world. Number 3. Waler horse. This isn't just a horse, it was a comrade, riding side by side with Australian soldiers through gunfire, across deserts, and never once backing down. The Waler horse is Australia's legendary military breed, developed in the 19th century by crossing Timor ponies, thoroughbreds, and desert Arabians. Standing 15 to 16 hands tall, 60 to 64 inches, strong and rugged, the Waler earned its name as the no-rest horse, capable of covering over 50 miles a day under blistering heat. They were deployed in World War I, the Boer War, and became a defining symbol of Australia's mounted troops. But what truly made the Waler famous wasn't just its strength, it was its loyalty. Many rode with their soldiers through hell, only to be left behind due to post-war quarantine laws. The Waler ranks number 3, not only for its military legacy, but for its deep bond with the men who rode them, immortalized in poetry, songs, and national memory. Today, pure Waler bloodlines are vanishing, rarer even than the few remaining Tasmanian tigers preserved in museum archives. And if the Waler was a warrior of the battlefield, the next horse was the four-legged engine of Australia's farms. Quiet, massive, and the muscle behind a century of hard work. Number 2. Australian Draught Horse. If Australia was built with sweat and red earth, then this horse was the set of shoulders that carried the whole nation before machines ever showed up. The Australian Draught Horse is the ultimate symbol of muscle-powered labor in the pre-industrial era. Developed by crossing powerhouse European breeds like the Shire, Clydesdale, Percheron, and Suffolk Punch, this horse had everything a farmer could ask for: strength, steadiness, and unmatched endurance. Standing 16 to 17 hands tall, 64 to 68 inches, and weighing over 1,800 pounds, the Australian Draught pulled plows, hauled timber, and dragged wagons across hundreds of miles without stopping. Its calm nature and easy trainability made it the go-to workhorse on farms big and small from the 1800s through the mid-20th century. It ranks number 2 for its crucial role in building modern Australia, but ever since tractors took over, purebred draught horses have dwindled, now rarer than the elusive river dolphins in the Northern Territory's top end. And if the draught horse is the image of quiet strength, then the number 1 horse blends wild blood with legacy lineage, a living legend that once roamed the white sand dunes of South Australia. Number 1. Coffin Bay Pony. Some horses were born to serve, some were bred to fight, but the Coffin Bay Pony, it was born to survive. This rare wild breed traces its roots back to Timor ponies, brought to South Australia's Coffin Bay Peninsula in the early 1800s. For over 200 years, they've lived completely self-sufficient, under scorching sun, fierce winds, and shifting white sands with almost no human intervention. Today, only 200 to 300 remain, fewer than some of Australia's rarest migratory birds, and they're now protected as part of the country's natural heritage. More than just a rare breed, the Coffin Bay Pony is living proof of endurance, a link between history, wilderness, and hope. And that's exactly why it earns the number 1 spot on this list.